In the sweltering heat of July 1799, a French soldier's pickaxe struck something unusual in the dusty soil near the Egyptian town of Rashid. The sound wasn't the typical thud of earth, it was the distinctive ring of stone against stone. Little did this soldier know, he had just stumbled upon one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in human history. The massive black granodiorite slab, standing nearly 4 feet tall, was partially broken, but otherwise remarkably preserved. As the dust was cleared away, strange markings became visible, 3 distinct bands of text cascading down its face. This was the Rosetta Stone, and it would become the key to unlocking a language that had been silent for nearly 2,000 years. But the story of the Rosetta Stone isn't just about its discovery. It's about political intrigue, academic rivalry, and one of the greatest intellectual achievements of the 19th century. The stone was found during Napoleon Bonaparte's campaign in Egypt, an expedition that was as much about science and culture as it was about military conquest. Napoleon had brought with him an unprecedented team of scholars, scientists, and artists, 167 in total, known as the Commission des Sciences et des Arts. When news of the stone's discovery reached these scholars, they immediately recognized its potential importance. The bottom text was clearly ancient Greek, a language they could read. The middle band was Demotic script, a later form of Egyptian writing. But it was the top band, those mysterious hieroglyphics that held the greatest promise. If all 3 texts said the same thing, as they suspected, this stone could finally crack the code of hieroglyphics. The race to decipher the stone's message became one of the most compelling intellectual contests of its time.
If we can translate these hieroglyphics, we could unlock centuries of history.
Scholars across Europe obtained copies of the inscriptions and began their work.
The Greek text is a decree issued by King Ptolemy V in 196 but translating the hieroglyphics is proving far more challenging than we anticipated. These symbols must mean something more than just pictures. They hold the key to our understanding.
But translating the hieroglyphics proved far more challenging than anyone anticipated. Enter Jean-François Champollion, a young French scholar who had been fascinated by ancient Egypt since childhood.
Eureka! They are not just pictures, they represent sounds too. It's more complex than we ever imagined. Alphabetic, syllabic, determinatives, all used together.
His breakthrough came in 1822, when he realized that hieroglyphics weren't just symbolic pictures, they represented sounds as well. Some signs were alphabetic, representing single sounds. Others were syllabic, representing combinations of sounds. Still others were determinatives, giving clues about the meaning of words. This complexity had baffled scholars for years, but Champollion's genius was in recognizing that the ancient Egyptians had used all these systems simultaneously. The moment of revelation came when Champollion focused on the cartouche's oval rings containing royal names. He compared the hieroglyphic spelling of Ptolemy on the Rosetta Stone with another cartouche containing the name Cleopatra from a different monument. The overlapping letters allowed him to begin building an alphabet, and from there, the floodgates opened.
Je tiens l'affaire. I've got it.
Before collapsing from exhaustion and excitement, he handed his brother a paper containing his findings. He had just unlocked a door that had been closed for millennia. The implications of this breakthrough were staggering.
Can you believe it? We can finally read what the Egyptians wrote themselves. It's like they're speaking to us from across the ages.
Suddenly, the entire civilization of ancient Egypt became accessible.
Look, these inscriptions tell their own stories, their own history.
The ancient Egyptians could speak again, telling their own stories in their own words.
This decree about King Ptolemy is just the beginning. Imagine what else we can discover.
The Rosetta Stone's text itself was relatively mundane, a decree establishing the divine cult of King Ptolemy V and listing his good works.
It's not what the text says, but what it represents for us today.
But its significance lay not in what it said, but in what it enabled. It was the key that unlocked an entire civilization. Today, the Rosetta Stone stands in the British Museum, protected by thick glass and constantly surrounded by visitors. Its dark surface, worn by centuries of handling and study, still bears the words that changed our understanding of history. The soldier who discovered it could never have imagined its impact. How this single stone would bridge a gap of thousands of years and give voice to a silent civilization. The story of the Rosetta Stone reminds us that sometimes the most significant discoveries happen by chance. It shows us the power of human intellect and determination, and how the collaboration of scholars across nations and generations can unlock the greatest mysteries of our past. But perhaps most importantly, it stands as a testament to the enduring human desire to understand our history, to reach across time and connect with those who came before us. In the end, the Rosetta Stone did more than just help us read hieroglyphics. It helped us understand that despite the vast gulf of time separating us from ancient Egypt, we share the same fundamental human desire to leave our mark on the world, to tell our stories, and to be remembered. The discovery in 1799 was just the beginning. The real discovery, the unlocking of an entire civilization's voice, would take decades of dedicated scholarship. And even today, the Rosetta Stone continues to inspire new generations of archaeologists, linguists, and historians, reminding us that there are always new mysteries to solve, new stories to uncover, and new connections to make with our distant past.